I was wondering, as like a start, do you have sort of like your own working definition of suffering, or like what do you define it as?
First of all, I say suffering is a fact of life. Secondly, my working definition is that suffering is a subjective experience. Minimally, a subjective experience of some discomfort, something unpleasant. But in and by itself, suffering is neither good or bad, depending how you respond to it. It's a state of mind or a feeling. Suffering is experienced, is a human experience. The human experience to the person who feels something uncomfortable, something unpleasant at a feeling level. But it can be, even by itself, it's neutral because it's not always bad. That's why you right now all the scales focus on the negative part. Nobody also measure the positive part. So that's what's lacking. With a good scale, like the Tyler scale, is very good in measuring the negative part. But the positive part is missing, right? I'm sure there's also a positive aspect. So hope we can develop something like that, okay?
So is the positive aspect, you think, the experience of suffering itself, or what can grow out of it, one's response to the suffering? And I had similar questions on polarity and good and evil.
So we can think about suffering. At least you conceptually, when you think about three stages, right? One is the experience itself. Something happened. Something happened to me. I either feel nervous, I feel uncomfortable, I feel whatever I feel, okay? It's subjective. Could be all subjective because as a case study I show it. Doesn't have to be something happening, outside. It could be all internal, okay? Something happened, subjective, okay? The effect is how I respond to that, okay? The effect two parts. One is the process, the other is the outcome. How I respond is the process. For example, if I say, oh my God, I could not see her. My world falling apart. I cannot live without her. I got to have her. So this process, as if a disaster, at least that was the worst that happened to her, because I cannot see her, or because I cannot have that award, or cannot have that paper published. So the process is negatively, I must have it, the result will be negative. Something. The positive process is what's happening, okay? The first statement. What's the meaning? What are you telling me? The diagnostic value. What do you want to see her? What do I have must have that paper published? I will not die if the paper is not rejected. Why should I feel so miserable? There's no reason to get all rung up, all anxious. It doesn't matter how it happened. Right away, you're really relaxed. You tell yourself, I have my life. That's what happened. What counts. And people reject it. So no big deal. A grant got rejected. It's no big deal. Your life is bigger than your grant. You have possibly right away, the anxiety is gone, the feeling is gone. And more importantly, now what should I do about it? When I ask this question, say, what can I do about this state of affair? Well, you can improve yourself. You can face the thing, you can take some action. So when the process is proper, the outcomes now are grown. Now have most deeper self-understanding. Now have courage to face the issue, to confront the issue. I have courage to take decisive action to end this affair of this woman. It's ruined my family, it's ruined my children. Even though I long for her, even though she gave me happiness, she made me feel young again. But it's not good for me, it's not good for my family. You know, that's the case I just talked about earlier. So that takes courage to do the right thing, to say, well, I'll tell her that we have to end the affair. You know, my heart aches. My heart aches to cut the link with her. But I feel relieved. I feel free. So people are complex. It's not either or. It's often a team knows better than most people. Most of our emotions are ambiguous, right? Both good and bad. My heart aches to cut the link with her. But I feel reborn. Oh, now I breathe easier. It's a way about this woman, the young woman, and my wife and children. So I found a way out. Before I got stuck, then my client got stuck, torn between a wife and a mistress. So that's why suffering can be good for you. You measure how you respond, and also measure the outcome. It's a process and outcome.